Alexandre Philippe. It's actually his strange story, because I hadn't planned to make a film about The Exorcist at all. But I met Bill Friedkin at the Sitges festival a few years ago, and he invited me to his table, and 3 weeks later he invited me to lunch in Los Angeles. How would William Friedkin direct a film today? It's hard to say. I mean, obviously his last films were incredible. Filmmaker Alexandre Philippe is undoing the director's last film in his film essay Salto de Fe. There are interviews with the filmmakers, but they're usually short, and if they're done at the time of a film's release, they often avoid discussing the ending so as not to spoil the experience for the audience. The entire film is a window into the creative process, including an exploration of the collaborative relationship a director has with his or her actors. I really wanted to focus on the more subtle aspects of the film and his filmography, because I think he is ultimately a very, very thoughtful, very subtle filmmaker, and I think that's what makes not only The Exorcist but his films in general so great. Philippe, I think we all have this image of William Friedkin first. He is almost this mythical filmmaker at this stage. I wanted to make a completely different film, and I really wanted to focus on his process as a filmmaker. This film is like a window into the mind of a filmmaker that you rarely get. I think he wanted me to make this film, and I mean that in the best possible way when I say that he provoked me. We think of him as this maverick filmmaker who shot on the set and punched his actors in the face, and did a lot of crazy things that was him, but I don't think many of us really believe that there is a man who is going to go to the Kyoto Zen gardens and start crying, so that beautiful moment stays in the film, which just happened on the set, which is not something I wouldn't call one of those occasional Friedkin improvisers. It was very surprising for me, and I think I wanted to make not only a portrait of him, but also a deep immersion in The Exorcist, which has nothing to do with what you think of when you think of The Exorcist, which is the special effects, the horror and all that stuff. This is a full interview with director William Friedkin on one subject. The Exorcist. Get your free copy of the ebook, described by Filmmaker magazine as surprisingly detailed and useful. It contains over 100 pages on what you need to know to make beautiful movies at an affordable price. With a DSLR, William Friedkin surprised audiences with his classic horror sound The Exorcist of 1973.